Hello out there. And you can read my Vita in the brochure, so I don't need to tell you, except I've been riding, distance riding since 1971. Okay. And this is another field where the baby boomers are getting a little bit tired of their trotting horses and they want something smooth to ride. That's one of the things I hear when I go down the trail. Gating is people go, oh, look at that, I think I want a gated horse. Also, the horses are a minority. Arabs rule distance riding, but a lot more people are trying different breeds. And the Tennessee Walker, in both endurance and competitive trail, has held their own and has won year-end awards or placed on the Tevis Cup, been national champions in competitive trail riding. So there is a market for those horses. I do want to say that there's some folks that say you have to go to Montana or buy a heritage horse because a show horse can't be a distance horse because their gaits are so terrible when you try to trail ride them. And I do have some horses that are from show barns, and I've seen a lot of Tennessee Walkers on the mountains around here that are going down the trail just fine, so I think that's a prejudiced opinion that you can only go out west to buy a distance gated horse. Okay, next. And I'm going to just talk in general about the sports. You want a distance horse that has balanced proportions. Divide the horse into threes, and that's more or less a balanced horse. Moderate angles, you don't want them too steep or you don't want them too low. A horse has to travel straight and have decent bone. One thing I think Tennessee Walkers do have a nice disposition. They're willing, if they haven't been messed up by jazzing them up so much. They have a pretty calm disposition. They travel well. You don't want a horse that's just you're having to push all the time, nor do you want one that you're fighting all the time. Just looking at these legs, which horse has straight front legs? Is the chestnut horse or the bay horse? Bay horse. Which horse has the better driving hindquarters? The chestnut or the bay horse? Which one would you rather climb up a mountain on? Which one? The chestnut horse, yeah. I guess there's a trade-off on the front and the behinds of those two horses. Okay, next. Good bone means there's good width from the knee down to the pastern or the ankle. This horse hasn't been sored, he has a scar. I'm getting kind of defensive from being here in a way. But you can tell that horse has a good wide cannon where you don't want him to tie in at the knee. And my chestnut horse does tie in at the knee, kind of. Next. Okay. Again, if you could read through this, we don't feed a lot of alfalfa. We're looking for feeds that are more cereal grains, fat, and fiber. Don't feed 3 hours before you go out on the trail because the horse will be digesting food rather than putting it into having his energy to go forward. And also they're finding in studies you don't want that skinny horse. You want a horse with about a 5 on the body weight scale. You don't want him to lose a lot of weight during the ride. And hydration, the old rule is you never water a wet horse. When you're on the trail, you can water whenever you want as long as you keep going. If you're coming into a rest stop, you can let them have sips of water, keep them moving, and gradually let them drink more. But you want your horse to be hydrated at all times. And electrolytes, some people go nuts with giving them too many electrolytes, so you need to know your own horse. That's a trial and error kind of thing, but don't overdo the electrolytes because you can actually stop the horse from drinking or make it harder for him to be hydrated. I have seen horses that were dehydrated that we were trying to give water, and all these yokels are standing around going, you're going to kill that horse. He's hot. Don't give him no water. And that's absolutely wrong. So a lot of these old myths, the one good thing about trail riding, it's about improving your horse. It's not how to fake your way through doing something. You've got to learn about so many systems and so many methods and judging a horse that it's a great sport if you're really into horses and want to learn as much as you can about them. And you could need to carry a sponge and sponge your horse off at water stops, vet checks, and the finish line. Don't put cold water on big muscles when it's cold outside, though. All right. Okay. This is your tack, English tack. That you can see that saddle. It's a Wintec. It's got extended bars. The other saddle on the bay horse is a Western type saddle with no horn. And the bottom bay horse, he's just got a lot of his stuff on him, including a sponge, a pommel bag, and a easy boot bag. And that's an old Western saddle, and I put lighter fenders on it and trail stirrups so it wouldn't weigh so much. Okay, now here's my other, you guys are all going to be mad at me. That's my horse, and his back seemed fine. When I was riding him, it wasn't sore when I palpated it. He didn't have any dry spots on his back. But this winter, he grew white hairs. So what does that mean to y'all? The saddle didn't fit him. But I swear to you, I didn't mean to hurt my horse. I just have to get a new saddle, and I guess I'll have to look at those Tennessean saddles. Next. And don't forget, especially on a competitive trail ride, they might ask you, show me your knife, show me your hoof pick. And then on my saddle, I carry like shoelaces in case something breaks, I can tie it. A lot of us older people take a leave when we go. But anyway, toilet paper, blah, blah. And then there's some headgear, two different headgears, a lot of hackamores, and then a lot of trail bridles where you could unhook the reins, unhook the bit, and then snap it and use it like a halter when you're stopping. Okay, next. Conditioning. I just wanted to say the horse in the middle came from a show barn where the girl was winning national championships with her horses. I can't remember her name right now. That horse's name is Fame's Choice, and she's by Generator's Fame. The horse on this side, the left, is a horse that came out of a show barn. He's by the Pushers Bustin' Loose. And the one on the right is a Mustang. That's the Pushers Bustin' Loose mare on that rock there. And that's Dodie Sable, the one that started the Foch distance riding program. Okay, we were talking about slowly starting your horse, and the rule is if you're starting a horse to get it ready for trail riding to do at least 100 miles of walking. We're talking about the flat walk. Put 100 miles on it before you start to move out, and then that patterns the muscles to stay in that gait, and it also gets the horse using its hindquarters. People get out on the trail for the first time. They think, oh, I'm going to come to this ride. I'm going to show everybody how fast I am and how great my horse is. You usually get pulled at the first vet check. It's better to go steady and not get race brain and try to keep up with everybody, because some people are just going to blow you into the ground, or you're going to blow your horse out. You don't want your horse to fight and be freaked out on the trail. You want him to go slow and easy. And they say ride your own ride, which means ride at the pace you're comfortable with and your horse is comfortable with. Don't try to stay up with the hot shoes, and don't pull your horse back to stay with the shorter strided horses either, because you'll be making your horse not use its usual gait. Also, to be ready for a ride, go camping, ride in groups of people, take your horse different places to get them used to different atmospheres. So again, they won't just freak out once you get to the campground where the show is going to be. And also be ready to ride in all kinds of weather, because it's going to rain at some of those rides. I've even been at rides in the Midwest where it snowed, or it can be very, very hot. So next. This is the start of a endurance ride. It's called a shotgun start, so actually everybody starts at the same time. Now you can hang back and let the hot shoes go out ahead of you on an endurance ride. And again, ride your own ride. Just reminders, don't wear new jeans or something new, or try out a new bit for the first time on your ride. You might get really disappointed and really sore, or make your horse sore. And make sure, again, that you're drinking and that your horse is drinking and that you've had something to eat. Okay? This is just some pictures of people on rides. The horse on the top right is the horse that was on the cover of, that's John Henry. He's a Tennessee Walker, and that's him going in the Tevis Cup, which is supposed to be the hardest 100-mile in one-day ride in the world. That's my little chestnut horse. He's a generator, Jin's Major General horse, and a Motown Magic horse. He came out of a show barn and was shot up with Colt shoes or whatever they are, but they're heavy-weighted shoes when I got him. And I got him for $200 because he wasn't going to make a show horse. And there's horses at those show barns that people will sell you for not very much money because they're not going to make a show horse. My concern lately is I was in Knoxville at the horse sale. A bunch of horses were going through, young horses. A lot of them were black, 2 or 3-year-olds. You know what they were? And they were sold for meat. So that's where some of our horses are going as the show barns shut down. There's no market. They're selling them for meat. And they're selling them more for meat than they're getting for them being a riding horse. So the horse that Dodie's riding down in the bottom corner, she came from a show barn too. And then this horse over here, on his first ride ever, was a sweepstakes winning horse, and he's a Tennessee Walker horse. He's more of a foundation bred horse. Training, besides conditioning, which I'm going to talk about, training is getting your horse used to different situations. Also, they were talking about versatility. The horses have to side pass, do turns on the forehand, turns on the haunch, back, including backing around obstacles, in hand and under saddle. And that training can convert to versatility. Most distance riders do take dressage lessons. I just went to a dressage clinic about a month ago with my young horse, and it was really neat to do all that dressage work and then be told, go home and practice this, and this is how your horse will work better due to the dressage applications. Next. Just some more ride pictures, some of the beautiful country that you'll see down in the corner there. This is a vet check on a competitive trail ride where they stop you for 10 minutes and then they do a recheck to see what the pulse and respiration is. And they judge you on that, and the judges also might make you trot in hand. At an endurance ride, you come into the check. You go in whenever you think you're ready. Then your horse, if it drops down to the parameters to continue on the ride, then they'll give you, say you pass, you have 30 minutes to wait, and then you can go back on the trail. Both sports have mandatory stops and mandatory pulse and respiration and soundness before you can continue on the ride. And that's everybody like trying to sponge their horses down, or they bring fans that don't walk by or don't leave while they're taking my pulse. You know, they're yelling at you, don't leave. Okay, next. And this is the end. You can wear any color you want. You can, a lot of people on the endurance rides use portable corrals or high ties so their horse can move around a little bit and not get stiff. Riders meetings, you have one when you start, you have one when you finish. Usually you have a nice potluck dinner. Everybody cheers everybody else on. Okay, if you were judging these people down here in the corner, what would you fault them for if you were a horsemanship judge on a competitive trail ride? Because the horsemanship judge does wander around the campground and does look at your site and just watches you as you're managing your horses. What's wrong with that picture?
You should never sit down while the horse is while holding the horse.
They're what?
You should never sit down while holding the horse.
You're not supposed to be sitting down. How about the horses? Can they get their legs caught in the...
Rope on the ground. Yeah.
And are they crowding each other? Yeah. And you would lose points for all that. And that's competitive trail ride's really good because it gives you a lot of feedback on your riding, on your horse. They really stress manners and safety. But I think this ride is over and they're just chilling after the ride. I don't think they would be doing that if they were being judged. Okay. Thank you.